One of the questions that came up and in various different ways is what's the way for using quantum human design in my coaching practice? Obviously, there are a lot of ways. I spend a whole year training people how to do it, but here's some things that I really want you to sit with. One of the things about coaching that's so important is that coaching is of course about what techniques or skill set or knowledge base do you have. Totally, you bring your wisdom and your knowledge and your learning to the table, but there's more to it than that. And this is the piece that I think we don't often talk about a lot in coaching. If you put together a coaching model, which is one of the things that I teach my coaches how to do, what you're going to find is that at the heart of that model is one thing that is essential to being an effective coach. And that one thing is you. You are the heart of your coaching model. No matter what knowledge base you have, no matter what system you have, no matter what training you have, you can only lead your clients to the degree to which you yourself have done your own inner work. There's a saying that says, a rising tide lifts all boats. And that's really, really true for coaching. You can't coach people beyond the level of where you're at. And so that puts you in a situation, of course, of if you want to deepen your skill set and your ability to coach people, you first got to make sure that you are aligned yourself, that you have an inner narrative and clarity and alignment that allows you to fully show up in a high vibrational, high quality place. Remember, again, physics, higher frequencies of energy entrain lower frequencies and not the other way around. So when you walk into the room as a coach and you're embodying your authentic self, you're living true to who you are, you're fulfilling your own potential to the best way possible. That act, just being aligned, creates a high frequency of energy. And just being in that state of alignment influences your client. Now, obviously, I'm not saying coaching skills and all that other stuff, they don't matter. Just walk in, vibe high, poof, clients transform. But it's essential before you take on the mantle of being a coach that you yourself have done your own work. So when the question is, what's the way for using quantum human design in my coaching practice? You know, let's start for just a minute and talk about the history of quantum human design and what it is. Traditional human design, which is what I was trained in. I studied with Ra. I worked for Ra's organization for several years. Traditional human design is a really, really great tool. And that's probably what you're going to at least start bringing to your clients on the front end. Traditional human design is a good tool to teach people what they're not. It helps us understand what Ra used to call the not self, those places where we are holding on to energetic memories and old narratives and stories, the shoulds, and all the things we were told we had to be successful. Traditional human design helps us untangle ourselves from that old conditioned narrative, from all those places where we learned to be something that we're not. Quantum human design is what I might call an awakened Ravi Ching, if you will. It is the same system, but it's higher frequency language, higher frequency vocabulary. And the intention of quantum human design is to take your clients, once they figure out, oh, this is how I've been reacting to life based on these stories I've been told about who I should be. Quantum human design now says, okay, you're not that person anymore. You're not who you were told you should be. You have started this journey of becoming more and more aware of how you've been conditioned to be something that you're not. Quantum human design comes in and gives you a new vocabulary, especially as a coach, to start building the structural framework verbally and more that helps your client now step into a new, more authentically aligned identity. So you need both. It's not like, oh, quantum human design replaces traditional human design. No, it's more that it's a continuum. People come in over here with traditional human design, they start to untangle themselves from that old story. At a certain point, they go, okay, I can't go back. I can't be who I was told I should be. But now, who do I want to grow into becoming? And so quantum human design gives you that next level of structural framework to begin to craft a new narrative that is a narrative that's more fulfilled, more aligned, more expansive, and helps people really grow into becoming the person they were born to be. The very first thing, as I said, that you have to do with quantum human design is to explore for yourself as a coach, as the heart of your coaching model. Where are you at with this narrative? What is your narrative, that more empowered, aligned, authentic, high frequency narrative? And so, a lot of what we do, when I work with my students and my coaching students, is we start to, first and foremost, at the very, very beginning, exploring your narrative, your mission, your purpose, and reframing it in modern language so that you as a coach also have a structural framework that you are growing into. You're always going to be growing into it. You're always growing and changing. You're always evolving. If you're not, you're not alive, right? And so this quantum human design language gives us a really expansive and powerful template that begins to sort of push the edges of the spectrum of what's possible for ourselves so that we can create more and more room for growth and expansion. So the short answer to the question, what's the way of using quantum human design for my coaching practice? Number one, use it for yourself to redefine the narrative you're telling yourself so that you're telling yourself a narrative that's big enough. And then number two, you're going to go back and bring that same process to your students, to your clients, to whoever it is you're coaching. So when we look at, part of what I teach coaches to do is to look at quantum human design, to look at the language, to look at the drivers of the new language, because our motivations change when we're pushing towards expansion. Oftentimes when we're on a conditioned self, we're pushing towards contraction, right? Okay, how much can I hide myself? How much can I defend and protect myself? When we're over here, all that traumatized defense response is gone. And now we're over here going, what else is possible? How much more can I grow? How much bigger can I get? So once you internalize that for yourself, then we turn around and talk about how do we coach our clients into that, those new narratives, those new stories. And we use, some pretty specific processes, including storytelling, that help people shift into those new expansive narratives. So I hope that answers your question.